Welcome to Black Belt Beauty Radio, a podcast fueled by a passion to support your journey in developing your most beautiful and optimal performance in life. Each episode is driven with the intention to elevate your mind. When we elevate our mind, we elevate our life. So get ready. It's time to rise. What's up, people? Welcome back to Black Belt Beauty Radio. I've got a powerful Solosode for you guys today, and I'm excited to get into it right now. It's a big subject. It's one that I feel all of us, especially listeners to this podcast, will really relate to, because all of you guys, I believe, are, high achievers. You're reachers. This podcast is all about turning your best into better. My intention is to support you in that pursuit. I'm in it with you. And, for us to not just, be moving through the motions of it, but enjoying the process of that pursuit. So that being said, I'm pretty sure that all of you guys are going to feel a deep connection with the subject of perfectionism, because oftentimes it could really hinder our ability to move forward, or to move forward at a pace that would be more serving to us in our process. So, funny story. I was supposed to go hang out with one of my best friends last night, and I got inspired to record. So I opted out of going to her house and, decided to try and record this episode. And I'm going to be real, as always. I recorded probably like 5 times. Like, I'd get into it for like 2 to 5 minutes, and I'd be like, nah. And finally, time had passed, and I was like, all right, fuck this. I got to go to bed, because I got to get up early and kick my ass in the morning in this high-intensity interval training class of my brother's, which is what I just got done doing. So I feel really great. I feel very focused. I feel very present, strong, and eager to create a really powerful episode for you guys. And it was funny because my best friend that I was going to go see last night, she takes this class with me. And I told her at the end of the class, I'm like, man, I couldn't get it down last night. I tried, but I'm not sure. Like, I really want to make this great. And it's such a big subject that I don't know how to really, I haven't grasped, how to kind of trim the fat and keep it very, create it so that I can take this big concept and put it in a state of flow for you guys to really absorb a powerful message. And she's like, what do you, it's so funny. It's so powerful to have friends like this. She's like, what are you doing right now? Are you trying to like perfect it? And, yes. Okay. Look, I don't want to just, create episodes where I'm just fucking ranting. Like, they have to have purpose, and they have to have, a flow to them, so that you guys listening can really kind of follow along and absorb the goodness of it, However, there's a fine line between, holding my intentions there and then being kind of a little overboard with it's a little, no, I could do, and, this is where it gets tricky with high performers, with, people in general, but I really do think that, people who have high standards or create these expectations for themselves, I'm for sure one of them. We can oftentimes like just stop ourselves from moving forward because we're trying to like make this whole perfect fucking scenario. And I want to just kind of wrap out about that and, pull this concept apart, because look, it's October. I started this podcast in December. I'm almost a year deep, you guys, which is it means so much to me. And I'm going to have a whole, year anniversary episode where I'll really share my emotions about it. But like, just to even be in this position now, staring at my year mark right in front of me, is so moving to me. And here's the thing, I've said it many times in this podcast, I'm mostly an introvert, you guys. So, it takes a lot for me to just push myself out to be seen. And a lot of people still like trip out when they hear that, because I'm not shy. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, I'll post some funny ass shit where I'm dancing. I don't care, but an introvert is really someone who, needs a lot of self-time to, recharge, and isn't necessarily motivated. And that's the key word, motivated by, pushing ourselves out for everybody to see. I'm not hiding behind a fucking curtain, but I'm just not I don't know. Some people are motivated by that, and that's a beautiful thing. That's a wonderful thing if that's what serves you. It's just not for me. However, it's not powerful enough for me to stop myself from doing whatever it takes to, be on this pursuit and, work towards my goals and accomplish my mission, right? If I got to be on stage in front of thousands of people talking, well, I'm going to fucking do it. So why I'm even bringing this up is because, as I was getting ready to start the podcast, first of all, I'm not a fucking expert podcast host, obviously. I don't have a background in journalism. I'm an introvert. So there's that whole thing I just shared. There's all these things that would, could have really stood in the way of me launching this podcast. And, I think it was almost 2 years from the time that the idea hit me, the inspiration to start it, to the actual start date. And I would say that most of that time was genuinely thinking about my purpose, thinking about, envisioning the process and the path, making that decision that this is something that, once I start, I'm going to be all in and committed to, and really going through the scenarios, my why factor, what I'm willing to do, what I'm not willing to do, all of that. And then that was the majority, but I will say that there was probably 10%, maybe 15 of okay, I'm kind of hesitating. And I started to feel that towards the end. And that's when what I did, and this might come out again in the year anniversary, but I so strategically, one of my closest girls who's, she was the first guest, on this podcast, Carla Esparza, UFC fighter, fucking just legend in the sport of mixed martial arts. She had a fight coming up, at the end of December. And we had talked about doing a podcast together for a while at that point. And, finally it came down to she was all in, she was ready to go. So there was nothing to wait for anymore. I was I got to do this. And it was so, I knew that she had a fight coming out. So obviously it makes great sense to post her episode prior to her fight. So it gave me this, it gave me a fucking deadline, right? And I did it. And listen, I think this is episode 35 now. And I just want to point this out that you guys can't see behind the scenes, but there are times where I listen back at, some episodes and, where I'm observing myself, because I need to learn, right? I want to be better every fucking time for you guys. I want to be better for me. And there are moments where I cringe. I can't lie. There are moments where I'm fuck, I know I could have done that better. I know I could have, that wasn't my cognition just wasn't fully there in that moment. Maybe I was tired, maybe whatever. And there's no turning back, especially conversations with other people. I can stop and redo this right now. It's just me. But when I'm in it with somebody else, that's it. It's going. It's happening. And, I really, really could beat myself up if I wanted to about the imperfections that I discover when I'm, playing back some of the episodes. But, here's where I get to really express an example of how I'm on my fucking team and why I think it's so important for all of us to be on our team. And yes, it's important to have high standards and expect great things of ourselves, but it's also important to be willing to be sloppy, even be messy in the beginning if you have to, and be most of all patient within the process, because we cannot get better without repetition. We got to clock in the hours. And that's where I am on my side, because I'm so well aware of that. And even in those moments where I cringe, like, damn it, I immediately just console myself with, it's okay, you're getting better and you're just going to get better. I mean, I'm not even a year in. Where am I going to be in 5 fucking years with this thing? Can you imagine? Because I have to say, I am pretty proud of myself and here's why. Number one, because I started without everything being so perfect. Like, I didn't have it all perfectly together. What I had was a really focused intention and a very strong purpose and a deep belief in myself that I'm capable of doing this and I'm willing to, go on the journey. So, this episode is really in support to all of you who, are hesitating at doing something that you want to do, starting something you want to do, going for something you want to go for, because maybe you're afraid that I don't know, it's not perfect. You're not sure if you have it all set up. And it's so important to really be real with yourself. Like I said, before I started this podcast, you guys, there was a legitimate time that, I was really just like thinking about my whole process and connecting, and it wasn't hesitation. It wasn't. But towards the end, like once fall came around, so I started in this December, I think it was actually October, where I was like, all right, girl, like let's get this shit going already. You know what you want to do. You know that you're capable. You've got it all figured out in that regard. Like, your purpose is strong. You're committed. So like, what are you waiting for? You literally have people who are agreeing to do the podcast with you, ready to support you. So where are you? And that's so important. That is so important, to call yourself out and not make excuses. Well, no, I'm not ready. No, you know when you're fucking ready enough. And my brother said something so epic. I swear, it's like his classes are so beyond the body. It's so beyond the physicality of what we're doing. I really use his classes, his training, to train my fucking mind in so many ways. I can't wait. He's going to be on this podcast soon, and we'll get to tap into that more. But, he said most of what holds people, one of the greatest reasons of what holds people oh my God, I can't say this right. I'm not going to worry about being perfect. What so often holds people back from attempting things is the fear of humiliation. It's the fear of humiliation. And you can totally, partner that with failure and all that other shit, but like legit, it's scary to be like, again, I'm going to just use the podcast as such a great example, but I had to fucking be so vulnerable to put myself out. And I'm going to add to that by saying, like, not just putting myself out in the world, but you guys, I'm established in one industry already. I'm a celebrity makeup artist. I have, my peers are watching, like brands are watching, and all of a sudden I'm going to come out and, where I come from Black Belt Beauty, whether it's, my Instagram post, my website, my podcast, it's like life performance coach, really. So here I am, this established, defined career person in this industry, now coming out in this, I connect all of it, but, it's like a completely new territory. And I'm a novice. I'm a novice in the sense of like being a podcast host, and, and here I am. I got to put myself fucking out there. And you know what that means, right? We give people the opportunity to judge us. That's really scary. Really fucking scary. I think what's even scarier is how we judge ourselves. It's that classic quote, no one's harder on you than you are on yourself. I mean, I feel that way for sure. Like, I am certainly harder on myself than I think anybody could ever be on me. But obviously over the years, I've developed a very strong relationship with myself and my self-love. And so, there's a healthy balance there where I'm able to push myself and challenge myself and expect great things in myself, but love myself throughout the process and be gentle. You know, it's self-love is so huge, man. I'm letting you know. I mean, it bleeds into so many of my episodes, but it's such a fucking powerful tool, you guys. I'm kind of cultivating. I'm trying to figure out like how I want to create an episode all around self-love, like in a very deep way, because it's probably my greatest tool, like in terms of what really supports my whole, you know, everything that I do that's challenging and that I stay consistent with. It stems from that, because I love myself so much that I want to give myself this opportunity to try. I want to give myself, you know, this healthy feeling. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to go too far in that realm because I want to save it, but I'm just letting you know, like, it's so big. It's so important. So back to perfectionism though. Yeah. I mean, you guys, like, it's so powerful to be vulnerable. And when you think about it, everybody who's made a difference in this world or is making a difference in this world by whether it's like, you know, creating something, putting it out there. I'm talking like on any level, going for like sports even. It's like these people are being vulnerable. They're putting themselves in a position to be judged, to fucking fail. They're putting themselves in a position to fail. And listen, it's not a common thing. Most people, like my brother said, like, no way, back off. I'm not going to try it because I'm too afraid for, you know, what people could think, how I'm going to look, what I'm going to think of myself. What if it doesn't work? Like, that dominates so many people. And that's why, you know, I just felt like I just want to, if that's where you are right now, this episode that you're listening to is so meant for you to hear right now in this very moment of your life, to push that shit out your way. Get it out. You have some amazing things to accomplish, to create, to share, to experience in your life. Fuck perfect. Get messy. Get it? Get messy. Who cares? You know, I feel like I'm getting better at this. You know, every time I listen to an episode, I find the things, I'm like, cool. And I'm focusing and, you know, and I am 100% getting stronger at my game with this whole podcast. And you know, it feels really good. We know what fucking feels good, trying. So, you know, my brother had said this in another time in a class where I was trying to do this move and I couldn't get all the way down to the bottom. And he was like, man, it's not about the end result all the time. It's about the fight on the way there. It's about the fight are you willing to fight? Meaning like all in, just go for it. Like, listen, you might have to get hit and that's okay. Because once you get hit, you know, you don't like that feeling and you're going to figure out a way to fucking not get hit next time. And it's the same shit with anything that we want to go for that we're not fully comfortable with yet, because we haven't gone there yet. You know, how are we going to know what we're made of if we don't reach for that thing in us that's like summoning us because it wants us to reach for it? Because when we grasp it, we get to be a fucking next level version of ourself. And that's in anything. Like, I've added so much to myself by starting this podcast. Like, I've added so many more layers that they were waiting for me. I believe that. And I just had to do my work, be courageous enough to say, I'm going to fucking go for it. I'm going to reach inside. I'm going to dig. I'm going to stretch myself. I'm going to get really uncomfortable. And I'm going to go for it. And damn, you guys, I'm so grateful I did. Every single message that I ever get from any one of you that has sent to me, I mean, I know I express myself very, like I get deep with you guys in those moments, in those personalized moments where I respond to you, but you'll never really know how much it really impacts me. It's more than my words can say. It's fueling my whole fucking process. I didn't have those messages before, you guys, because I didn't start this podcast. So what if I never started it? I would never get those messages and have this connection with so many of you and get to hear your story and get to hear how this podcast is supporting you in your journey. Like, fuck. Can you imagine? Like, I can't, if I held myself back from that's money to me. That's heart money. It's heart money. So think about it right now. Here's your call to action. What are you holding yourself back from right now? That I literally have chills when I'm saying this. That you know in the fucking deepest part of you, you're ready. Like, you're going to start it. You're going to go for it. But something is holding you back. What's that fucking thing? Go toe to toe with it. And don't worry about it. Like, don't worry about if it's perfect or not perfect. There's no such thing, man. Repetition. Clock in the fucking hours. That's how we craft. Mastery, right? It's like 10,000 hours. I wonder how many hours I've done in the podcast so far. I swear one of these days I'm going to count. Yeah, man. It's, there's so many more ways we can talk about perfectionism. I mean, one episode that you guys could be ready for towards the end of the year is going to be, perfectionism of the body. How we, oh man, that's such a big one. And I can't wait to create that one for you. But this particular focus with perfectionism, it was just so perfect, you guys, how fucking last night I tried, it didn't work. And then telling my best friend this morning and what she said, it was just like, damn, you're right there. Like, that's it. That's all I needed to hear. And I knew that I was going to sit down and the words were going to come to me. And I wasn't going to worry about how perfect it is, because that's bullshit. Like, listen, I thought about it. Oh, and let me add to this. This is really funny, actually. Do you ever notice how, when you have to do something that's hard, you start distracting yourself in other ways? So I will say that I'm a very neat person. Like, my home's always neat. For me, it's like connected to my brain. So I like everything in order. I like everything looking beautiful, bright, fresh, clean, whatever. But it was funny after I came home and I made my breakfast and I knew I was going to do this podcast, I fucking start cleaning. I'm like vacuuming and, sweeping and I was watching myself. I was doing it, you guys, because I knew exactly what I was doing. Yes, it felt good, just because I was going to sit down and everything's super extra fresh. But Roxanne, you knew exactly I was stalling. I was keeping myself fucking busy because I knew I was going to have to sit down, and I wanted to create an epic episode for you guys that was going to elevate you and push you, like whatever that thing is that you're stalling to start and go towards. Like, I want this to be the green light right now that pushes you towards it. It's a lot, like my intention is so powerful. It's so beautiful. And, I just have to hope that when I sit down, the words are just going to flow in a way that's going to really be effective and accomplish the mission. And so it was just funny, like observe yourself. Like, where are you stalling? When are you stalling? That's why I think it's just like, I say this so much. I'm going to say it forever. You guys, be fucking honest with yourselves. We cannot grow if we are not being honest. And it's not easy to be honest. It's so hard, right? Because if you're not in a situation that you are appreciating, like, and you got to be real with yourself, like, it could be very disappointing and hurtful, and you want to judge yourself, but fuck that shit. You guys are growth-minded badasses. You're reaching for greater every day. I am. And the only way to stretch and accomplish is to be vulnerable, is to be honest. That's it. And not fucking, to tie this whole thing up on top of that vulnerability, on top of that honesty. If there are things that that are summoning you, it's like this greater version of yourself, this higher path of your life is asking you, like, hey, can you start this thing? Can you, get this out? Can you create this? Can you, whatever, but you're trying to be all perfect about it. Like, no, stop. It's enough. Get hit. Get fucking hit, and then learn how to defend yourself against the hit. You know what? You're going to feel amazing when that shit's done. Like when you've accomplished it. You know, for me to look back and hear some of the episodes, those cringing moments, it's like, yeah, whatever, man. And I can hear also how much I've improved and I'm very proud of that. So it's all, you know, just do it, man. That was not a Nike fucking ad. Just do it. Yeah. So what I would love so much, what would be so helpful and so appreciated is if you let me know how you feel about this. Did it fucking put that fire under your ass? Are you starting that thing? Are you going for that thing? Are you know, like, did I accomplish my goal here? I would love to know. I just got to say, you know, I want to give a shout out to all of you who sent me so much love for that my first Q&A episode. And it was all about, you know, how I deal with anxiety and negative self-talk. It was a very powerful question. And I pulled everything I could from myself to give you my point of view, in a way that would be supportive to you as you maneuver through those things, if they, enter your mind, your life. And I got such incredible feedback. That means so much to me. It's like the kind of messages that tell me your fucking target hit. You did it, because it was all, I mean, man, I'm doing this to support you guys. And when I get the messages that it's supporting you, it's like, okay, fucking keep going. They're very affirming. You know, a lot of this work is very intuitive, you know, especially these solo episodes. It's like, I'm feeling what you guys need to hear right now. And, you know, hoping that it's exactly on time. And so when I get those messages, man, it's like I said, it's money in the heart bank, and it fuels my process. So I love you guys. Thank you so much. You know, if you appreciate this episode, please screenshot it, put it up on your Insta stories. I love reposting and tagging you guys and giving you that love right back. DM me, let me know your thoughts. I just love connecting with you guys. It means so much to me. It's like, I love this podcast for all the growth and the learning that I get to, you know, attain from it, you know, having these conversations with epic fucking people who are shifting the world. But that's just one part of it. The other part that is so equal to that is just the connection that I get to have with you guys, and it's growing, and I love it. So thank you so much. You know, whatever that thing is that you're feeling, you know, you want to go for, and you're fucking trying to be perfect about it, and you're not starting, stop. Be real, get vulnerable, learn what a fucking punch feels like, and then you learn how to defend it. Make it fucking happen. I'm with you guys all the way. So, all right. Lots of love. Thank you so much again. Instagram is Black Belt Beauty and Roxy Look, in case you don't follow me there already. Connect with me. And as always, you guys, I can't wait to be right back here with you. Lots of love. Thanks so much for tuning into this episode, you guys. If you loved it, please share it on your social. Throw it up on your Instagram stories and tag me. I'm at Black Belt Beauty. I am also at Roxy Look, RoxyLook. I love connecting with you guys. This is a conversation that I want to just continue growing with you guys. So if you feel inspired to hit me up, do so in that space. I always enjoy hearing from you. If you'd like to support this podcast, you can do so by rating it and reviewing it via iTunes. It's such supportive help, you guys. It really helps the visibility of this podcast. So I appreciate and thank you in advance for doing that. And last but not least, if you are interested in starting your own podcast, or perhaps you already have one and you need help with, you know, editing your audio and the production of it, I cannot recommend my producers enough. Resonate Recordings, you guys, they are the bomb. I rely on them. They are an absolute supportive tool to me and my podcast. So check them out and let them know that Black Belt Beauty sent you. And on that note, you guys, I'm signing off with all my love and always looking forward to catching you on the next.